Hello again, everyone. Zacatech is here with my WWE Raw review for this Monday night, January 27th, 2014. Of course, the aftermath of the War Room. I bet you everyone who's watched my War Room reviews probably surprised I'm making a War review tonight. But tonight, the War in Cleveland, coming off the Rumble, we had a couple good things, once again, a couple bad things. That's WWE for you after last night. Crowd, up and down crowd, not as vocal as they were in Pittsburgh, but they were very vocal during our first segment, which they deserve it. We'll also find out the main event of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, who would be in it, which would be kind of addressed in our first segment, and the second name to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2014, alongside the Ultimate Warrior. We find that out tonight. Now let's get down to business with our first segment, Triple H and Stephanie. And of course, the fans, as you saw from the Rumble, if you didn't see my review and didn't see the Rumble, of course, we all know the fans were very vocal last night in Pittsburgh for the disappointment of screwing a certain guy who kind of got a little bit of reprimanding tonight after what happened, with the fans being vocal about everything, booing everything. When Triple H and Stephanie came out, and boy, did they deserve that boo. And they had a typical WWE reaction. Oh, you didn't get what you want. Well, too bad. Typical WWE. Fucks the fans in every way. They don't listen to the fans, but they almost kind of listen tonight, as we would see with our main event. I did like Triple H's response, though. It was kind of funny, but I think everyone knew WWE wasn't going to apologize for anything. They're going to say, "Oh, you get what you want," but too bad. We got things our way. Fuck your way, you know. And they were talking about, like the fans were really chanting, the yes chants and the deep fight chants, and that every time there was a chant like that, they was like, they were like chanting yes, yes, yes. They was like, yes. It was a great Rumble last night. I love the way they play off the fans like that, but still, they had to know that the fans are gonna boo their asses tonight, which they did. And then, of course, that's when they made the main event for the Elimination Chamber. Being the WWE Champion, Randy Orton, would defend in the chamber match. That means 6 men would be in this chamber match. One of the men who I think should be in the chamber match, well, as we would see later on, may end up being in it, is Daniel Bryan after what happened last night. Once again, like we saw in the Rumble and every other night on Raw, D-Fi gets the best reception. Everyone makes fun of how dead the crowds are in WWE. There's only one guy that makes everybody jump on their feet. There's always that one guy. Back in the day, Austin was the one guy that made everybody jump on their feet and cheer their asses off. That was Austin 15 years ago. D-Boy is like Austin in a way because he gets the best crowd reaction. Punk does too. Where was Punk tonight, though? I bet you Punk was selling his injuries to Kane last night, but still. And I love D-Boy's speech. He was so damn true. He even tweeted about being left out of the moment, but Machine letting me down. Well, holding me down, this yes, yes, the yes movement has started. And I love D-Boy's speech, like I said, saying that you've been holding me down, you've been preventing me from the main event. Listen to those fans. And I had the best match last night, which was true. Be some review as well. I did love D-Boy's match against Bray Wyatt. And Triple H was like, once again, trying to make D-Boy mid-corner and not want to make him go past mid-corner. He's like, that was a good little match. Typical ego Triple H reaction. Typical Triple H, His head so up his ass he can kiss Vince's ass. Bad joke. Sorry. Trying to make a good joke out of this. Triple H with his head so up his ass, I don't want to listen to the fans. Anyway, Debo is saying that he should be in the chamber, and he wanted the opportunity to be in the gym match. Well, Triple H said, well, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. He just basically said telepathic messages to say, okay, Shield, beat up Daniel Bryan like you always do, besides the Wyatt. The Shield came out, beat up on D-Bry, and here comes Sheamus and John Cena of all people to save D-Bry. You have 2 guys who's been in matches with D-Bry, especially Sheamus, the one that beat D-Bry in 17 seconds at WrestleMania 28, one of many screw jobs that D-Bry has had to endure over the last 2 years, the first one, and a man that, of course, that lost to D-Bry, Cena, until he got cashed in on it by Owen, of course, the first of many screw jobs last year. So the match will be named after this little encounter with the Shield, and Sheamus and D-Bry and Cena. 6-man tag. Now there's any 6-man tag, 6-man qualifier. The winning team would see all 3 members be in the chamber match. Especially people wanting WWE to kind of, I'm aware that WWE made a lot of rewrites tonight. And if WWE wants to please the fans tonight, they had to rewrite the wall script pretty bad because of the fan reaction last night from the Rumble. So before we would see if D-Bry would make the Elimination Chamber and kind of shut up the fans for a little bit until they decide to fuck us over again, we got our first match of the night. Sin Cara, Huriko, what may you call him, teamed up with Rey Mysterio for the first time in a long time. The character teamed up with Rey Mysterio against We the People, of course referring to Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro. A lot of botches tonight in this match. Once again, Sin Cara, it doesn't matter who plays Sin Cara, he still botches. He botches a few, even Rey Mysterio kind of botches a few things tonight, you know. And Real Americans were on the losing end of the beginning of this matchup. They were really on the losing end until Jack Swagger got slapped across the face, probably a slap of encouragement. Basically, the old saying goes, Zeb Coulter, once again with his funny signs, basically slapped some sense into Swagger. That kind of motivated him. Despite Swagger's anger at Zeb, it was a slap of motivation. As Swagger and Cesaro would look very good in the later half of this matchup, proving what I've been saying all along. If you see my wall reviews and all that, I've been saying about Real Americans deserving a future tag team title shot. They've been looking good for the last few weeks. We didn't see Cesaro swing, disappointingly. Like, we saw Cesaro swing a lot of people last night in the Rumble. But despite Rey Mysterio's eventual comeback, especially with Mysterio trying to live on 619, Sin Cara got a nasty uppercut in the air. Sin Cara was saying for like the ending came when Sin Cara was going for like a big splash off the middle rope there. He got caught with a nasty uppercut from Cesaro, setting up not the swing, but the neutralizer. The 1-2-3 victory for Real Americans. Like I said, that slap from Coulter slapped some sense in the Real Americans and performed the rail around in the second half, following a sloppy first half from Swagger being dominated with some great Swagger bombs. And I hope Real Americans does get a title shot for the tag team title matches, even though we have New Age Outlaws as the tag champs. Of course, we would see New Age Outlaws defend their titles later on in this war against the former champs, Quarter Worlds and Goldust. But I think one day, someday, Real Americans will get a shot. They've been getting shots. But I think one day they'll finally succeed, and Real Americans will be tag team champions. One day, we the people, the fans. I think the fans chant We the People as much as they like D-Bry. You know, even We the People got better chants than Cena and Orton last night. Anyway, after that great victory for the Real Americans, on to our next match involving Dogg. Taking on R-Truth with Xavier Woods at ringside. Of course, Fandango trying to use every advantage, every distraction to his advantage, especially when R-Truth was chasing him outside the ring, and some way kind of distracted him to be fed towards a Fandango clothesline coming up the distraction from Summer Way. Despite that opportunity that was given to Fandango trying to capitalize on everything, but indeed following avoiding of a leg drop on Truth would eventually get his finishing move, the What's Up, and the 1-2-3 victory for R-Truth in an okay matchup following that opening matchup involving Real Americans and Sin Cara and Mysterio, kind of a botch fest, specifically from Mysterio and Cara, but still R-Truth gets a victory over Fandango. Okay little opener. And second matchup there with Xavier Woods. I thought Xavier Woods was going to get involved, but he stayed put at the announcer's booth with JBL, Cole, and King. So there you go. Then we had a little segment from Barrett talking about, the Battle of Cleveland, which will be our next matchup, involving Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, both from Ohio. But before we would see that Battle of Cleveland, we would see a segment involving Brock Lesnar. Actually, Brad Maddox would come out first to introduce Randy Orton. About Randy Orton beating John Cena last night, despite the crowd booing his ass. And indeed, he is ready. But of course, Orton cries about everything. He's been kind of a crybaby lately. He whines about this. He bitches about being put in an unnecessary rematch against John Cena. He bitches about the fact that there's so many guys gunning for him. Two of them, the two men that has been gunning for him, would be involved in this segment. He bitches about the fact that he's got to be in the Elimination Chamber match, defending his title. Well, two men, like I said, that has been gunning for him. the winner of the Royal Rumble, Batista, and the man who's the so-called uncrowned #1 contender, Brock Lesnar, would come in, stating their cases about Orton, about being a target, now that he's champion, and Heyman said that Maddox and the Authority that they had two choices to make because Lesnar is in a fighting mood, especially at that stupid match against Big Show. That match should have never happened last night. If you saw the review last night, or if you didn't, I know Big Show was injured, but come on, they should have saved the match instead of like having it be a stupid match with Lesnar and Chance. And like I said, Bray or Heyman would give the Authority two choices: make Brock Lesnar fight, have Brock Lesnar fight Randy Orton tonight for the championship, or fight Batista tonight. We would see what choice the Authority would make and the consequences of their decision. Before that, like I said, onto the aforementioned Battle of Cleveland. Two men from Cleveland with the Cavaliers jersey. We would have Dolph Ziggler and the loser Browns, shut, of course, worn by Mr. Miz. And his mom was in the crowd again. I bet his mom was like, yeah, I get to see my son wrestle, not beat up by Randy Orton again. Because last time I was in Ohio, Miz got his ass beat by Randy Orton with his mom watching. And dad too. So I bet his dad was like, I'm not seeing my son get his ass kicked again. I'm not going to show up. But his mom was there. Well, at least, although Miz wasn't as punished as he was against Randy Orton, he did end up getting his butt whipped nonetheless in this matchup. Decent matchup for you guys. Two guys who just, well, at least one guy does a big push. Dolph Ziggler, guy looked very good in the normal match last night. And Miz was in it too. Of course, in the normal match. And a decent matchup for both these guys. Of course, Miz coming in. They're both stuck in mid-card right now. They're both former champions, former Money in the Bank winners, and need direction. There's a lot of guys who need direction. Two of these guys, both these guys need direction right now. They're floundering right now. They're looking for something since they're not being pushed enough, especially with D-Bike getting all the pushing, which he rightfully deserves, especially with the crowd reactions and all. But both of these guys need direction. And of course, Ziggler, Ziggler's not using the famous serve much because of course Billy Gunn's back. But Miz is still using the figure four, especially if someone dressed up like Ric Flair in the crowd tonight. Miz, of course, tried the figure four many times during the matchup on Ziggler. These are matchup where we got very back and forth action from these guys, very athletic athletes. And of course, Ziggler will indeed put the nail in Miz's coffin, countering and at least blocking numerous attempts at Miz's finishing maneuver, the Skull Crushing finale. And of course, since, like I said, Dolph's not using the famous anymore since Billy Gunn's back, he's using his old finisher, the zigzag, which he got to connect in the 1-2-3 victory for DZ to show up Dolph Ziggler. Now, Dolph Ziggler's made these multiple city matches, like the Nashville Street Fight, and all these things involving cities, especially when they involved him and Damien Sandow a few months ago. He was in the Nashville Street Fight, the Memphis Street Fight, New York Street Fight, all these street fights involving cities. And once again, he was involved in a city fight, being the Battle of Cleveland. And like the other city fights, he's won them. So there you go. Dolph Ziggler wins the Battle of Cleveland. He is from Ohio, so there you go. Now, on with the next matchup. We had, of course, Ryback Soul, of course, Curtis Axel, and Ryback teaming up against Jimmy J, the Usos. I love probably some of my favorite tag teams right now is definitely Real Americans, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, New Age Outlaws, of course. Love them to death. Can't believe they're champions. They're still over. I love them. And of course, Usos were my favorite tag teams who deserve a tag team title reign one day. Ever since they came in 5 years ago, feuding with the Hart Dynasty, great feud they had when they were first team. They were decent heels, but they're great faces. The fans love those faces. Not as much as they love Daniel Bryan, but nonetheless, they love him anyway. And of course, Ryback, basically Ryback, once again doing what he always does. Beats people up really stiffly. He, for the first couple minutes, he just rammed Jimmy Uso from one corner to the other. Basically, one Uso was getting isolated in the corner in this okay little tag match. Isolated in the corner, basically quick tags in and out from both Axel and Ryback. isolated, just beat down and stuff. And the blind tagging would come in handy. A lot of blind tagging with Ryback doing, like Jimmy was doing a move on Ryback and didn't know that Axel had blind tagged himself in. When the blind tag would come back to haunt Ryback later on then after Jimmy blinded himself in after Ryback was going for the shell shock later on during the matchup, not knowing that one of the other Usos attacked himself in. Big delivered nasty kick to Ryback, which was set up the finish with a big frog splash after the other Uso took out Ryback's partner Axel and 1-2-3 victory for the Usos, looking good. A decent little tag match. The big high flying offense once again thwarting the power and muscle of Ryback. So you got another big win for the Usos after their okay showing at the Rumble match last night. Ryback was in the Rumble, Axel wasn't. Now on our next matchup. A man who's straight up impressive in the Rumble match. A man who once again dazzled with another spectacular avoiding elimination, running from the guardrail to the ring without touching the floor, referring to a man who needs another big push. Kofi Kingston, after beating Randy Orton, the current WWE champion, in a surprise upset. I didn't think Orton was going to lose that fight against Kofi a few weeks ago on Old School Raw. But now Kofi would take on a former world champion, but Del Rio still steaming from losing the Rumble match, and he was still steaming, especially when the fans trying to act all WrestleMania crowd, post WrestleMania crowd, like trying to act all New Jersey on us, chanting a lot of random things, including Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, and JBL, which really got Del Rio fuming. Like every time they were chanting anything but his, he was like, yeah, especially when they chanting on Kofi. Kofi looked very good once again in this matchup. Like Kofi's one of those guys who, unfortunately, to many people's eyes, is stuck in mid-card. Steve Bryan doesn't deserve to be stuck in mid-card. Kofi's a good guy who can deliver good matches. That's what he's good for, and nothing more than that. D-Boy should be elevated more than just a guy that puts on good matches in mid-card. Kofi should be like that too, but he's always going to be stuck in mid-card because he can't change his character or whatever. I would love Kofi get won as champion. He had a little push with Orton a few years ago, and I thought he was on his way to a big push. May have been shoved tonight. Despite Kofi's great showing once again tonight, great decent showing against Mr. Del Rio, a former world champion, delivering a boot drop, and he was going for what he kind of did with Orton, kind of surprised him with Orton was going for a move that countered with the SOS, which he almost kind of did with Del Rio tonight. But it was Del Rio's big power moves and big kicks, especially one big stomp would be all the story. Kofi was going for a big move up the top. After Del Rio was going up the top for something, Kofi kind of knocked him off, but then Kofi got hung up in the middle turnbuckle, and then Del Rio from the top stomped on him. Big, nasty stomp, and I think Kofi may have been seriously injured or not from that stomp. From Del Rio, it was a really hard stomp. Like, Kofi was stuck in the middle here. Del Rio's on the top. He just stomped him big, nasty stomp from Del Rio, which led towards a big insecurity kick in the win for Del Rio, kind of avenging what happened last night at the Rumble, being eliminated, especially eliminated by Batista. The man has been trash talking. I thought Batista may have interfered in this matchup, but he didn't. So Del Rio got the victory after a nasty big stomp on Kofi. Kofi looked good. I think Kofi's little mini push may have ended after the loss to Del Rio. Now on to our next matchup, the tag team title rematch involving the 6-time tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass, Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. I love the fact that Road Dogg was trying to do his own intro. Let's make a little noise up in this biatch. I was like, I can't say it anymore. TVPG. And I love the way they segue to the rematch with the Brotherhood, of course, Cody was Goldust, saying to silence the misconceptions. We didn't just get a shot because we kissed Triple H's ass. We got a shot because we are one of the best tag teams of all time. I think that is almost storyline true and real true. Because New Age Outlaws, probably one of my favorite tag teams of the Attitude Era. And I still can't believe they got a title one, but hey, they may not last long, but at least to see Outlaws as champs again, it's very cool to see that. It's not novelty factor. And they said, this is going to sting a little. I knew exactly what they were going to say. They were going to say along the lines, which they did, along the lines of, you were great last night, but we were better. In Dogg's words, he said, you were good last night, but not just good enough. Then boom, that just fired up Cody Rhodes and Goldust. And then came in with a burning intensity, and Cody Rhodes and Goldust wanting their titles back. They just came in like a house of fire, really motivated to get the titles back. Dogg and Billy Gunn were kind of looping. They were regrouping a lot in the early half of this decent little tag match with a little shitty ending. Anyway, I bet you there will be another rematch, especially with the ending of this match. So after Dogg and Billy Gunn kind of shook off the cobwebs after Cody Rhodes' early offensive fury, the Outlaws finally found their footing and were finally getting in the game, in the hang of things, taking care of Cody Rhodes and Goldust with great double team moves and quick tags in and out, trying to isolate Goldust with some nasty moves. But the Cody Rhodes came tagging in after the hot tag from Goldust, trying to nail the disaster kick and all that stuff, trying to regain the title. It looked like that as Cody Rhodes was trying to nail the final coffin. No blind tags like what happened last night. But still, Cody Rhodes looked like he was going to seal the deal and get the titles back, probably setting up a disaster kick. Here comes Brock Lesnar? What? Here is Outlaws, who have been beat up by Brock Lesnar before. Last year, during the whole Triple H Brock Lesnar feud, avoided any Brock Lesnar beatdown, and Cody Rhodes and Goldust got basically fed to the slaughter, as the match would end in disqualification, as Brock Lesnar would give F5s to Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Like I said, great tag match, mauled by the ending of Brock Lesnar interfering. I bet you there will be another rematch. But like I said earlier, the authority would have to make a decision. Choice A, make Brock Lesnar fight Randy Orton for the title, or B, fight Batista tonight. And we would have the consequences of their decision. There was choice C, you'll fight nobody. So he did what he did the Big Show last night, smashed a bunch of chairs and broke one again. I hated that last night. Like I said earlier, I hated the fact that not only the match went on, but I didn't like the way the match turned out. It was more like a fucking segment. Brock Lesnar just beating down the Big Show, breaking a bunch of chairs, which is exactly what he did to Cody Rhodes and Goldust, kind of venting about the fact he didn't get what he wanted tonight. He didn't get anybody. He didn't get a match with Batista or a match with Orton. So there you go, Batista and Orton better beware that Brock Lesnar is on the prowl and he is feasting on the championship. And of course took out his frustrations on Cody Rhodes and Goldust for not getting what he wants. Speaking of not getting what they want, the fans didn't get what they wanted last night, but they chanted during Orton and Cena's match, "We want divas." Well, unfortunately, you wanted it, you got it. We got divas. That was the most embarrassing chant. Like, of all the chants I heard last night during Cena and Orton, the most embarrassing was "We want divas." And unfortunately, WWE doesn't want to listen to us when it comes to "We want Bryan." They will listen when it involves "We want divas," even though we don't really want it. And we did get it. 8 divas tag involving the Bellatrins and the Funkadactyls, Team Total Divas, no Natalia. Where's she been? Taking on AJ Lee, Oksana, Alicia Fox, and Tamina Snuka. Typical little divas tag match. There was only 2. I'll give this. It was okay divas tag match. There was one cool little spot, a triple suplex by the Bellatrins and Cameron on Tamina, Oksana, Alicia Fox. That was a cool little spot. Triple suplex. That was a cool little spot. AJ was one legal divas taking on Naomi, which set up with a real view Naomi's big finish. Naomi's an okay wrestler. I'll give Naomi credit. Like you say, Naomi's one was athletic divas. I think Naomi is decently athletic. She does have the athletic factor more. She's probably a better athlete than any of the other divas today. Because, like I said, once again, WWE likes to go on looks, not wrestling. They're a wrestler that looks like Kim Kardashian but can't wrestle for shit. Anywho, Naomi, like I said, nailed the rear view after that triple suplex from her partners and 1-2-3 victory. Naomi pinning the Divas Champion. Could set up a match at Elimination Chamber for that title. We shall see. Speaking of things at Elimination Chamber, before we get to the main event and who would be in the Elimination Chamber match, as a result of a six-man tag with Cena, D-Bry, Sheamus, and The Shield, the second name of the Hall of Fame class of 2014 will be named tonight. A man that I thought was going to be announced 2 weeks ago, Son of Ultimate Warrior, but it was named tonight. Jake the Snake Roberts coming up his great comeback in Old School Raw. He is the second name inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame, which he richly deserves it because he was as equal of a part of the great late 80s era as Hogan was or Warrior was. Even though Jake the Snake Roberts never won a championship, besides stealing the $1 Million Championship from DiBiase back in '90, Jake the Snake Roberts was a very popular superstar. I loved him. I even had a toy snake of his. I had a toy Damien with the toy bag and everything, man. During the old school days. There was even like one of those inflatable Papa things with Jake the Snake. I think I had that too. But still, I love Jake the Snake, and I'm glad he's in the Hall of Fame. Now on with our next matchup. Like I said, the main event, six-man tag, a qualifier for the Elimination Chamber match. John Cena teaming up with D-Bry and Sheamus against the Shield. Now, Roman Reigns, I think no matter what, I think Roman Reigns will be in the chamber. I think Roman Reigns should be in the chamber match. I don't think he could qualify with the Shield as of this match night. I think Roman Reigns could qualify solely, but I think Roman Reigns should be in the chamber match nonetheless because he fed up that momentum from his great performance last night in the Rumble. That momentum shifted into this match. Great performance from Roman Reigns. My favorite spot of the match when it comes to Roman Reigns was when Cena was hung up on the bottom rope and Roman Reigns ran from one end with a running drop kick to Cena, like a running drop kick, big nasty move to Cena from the bottom rope when Roman Reigns had a head start from the floor. That was awesome, great move from Roman Reigns, proving the push is succeeding for Mr. Reigns after that tremendous performance last night at the Rumble. So indeed, after Reigns, and even when Reigns tweaked his foot a little bit, the Shield was indeed on the offensive, isolating Cena, Super Cena. And once again, when D-Bry got tagged in, big pop once again for D-Bry. All three men in that team got in. I think Cena started, then D-Bry got in, then D-Bry were tagging Sheamus, and of course the Shield being what they do best, individually or not, individually or as a team, they would dominate. Later having the matchup, like I said, really isolating Cena, beating up on Cena. Of course, typical Super Cena match. Cena would come back to life and hot tag to this man, D-Bry, Daniel Bryan. Of course, the crowd, like I said earlier, the one guy that makes everyone stand up. Like there's only, in every era of WWE, there's one guy that makes everybody cheer. In the Attitude Era was Austin. The one guy that makes everybody stand on their feet. D-Bry is that guy in this era of WWE. The one guy that makes everybody unanimously in unison chant, yes, yes, yes. He took control of the matchup very good until, of course, the ending was very chaotic, to say the least. As D-Bry would come in with his big flying goat moves, and then Reigns would come in, preventing a lot of breaking up of falls, a lot near falls broken up by members of the Shield. I knew they were going to come in and break up the falls. Another great spot from Reigns besides that big nasty dropkick to Cena was a Superman punch to Cena. How appropriate. A Superman punch to Super Cena. Who would get another tag in after D-Bry? Like Cena's like, I'm not gonna let D-Bry steal my thunder. I'm Super Cena, I'm ego. So after D-Bry was dominating and then taken down by Reigns and all them, and Rollins too with a nasty kick, D-Bry would tag in Cena after Sheamus was taken out. Like everyone was bodies were all over the place. Rollins and Ambrose were falling all over the place with Sheamus taking them out and Cena too. So Cena and Reigns would end the match. And I'm not kidding. I was watching it to myself and I'm like, it would be stupid if the Wyatts would get involved, especially after what happened after they interfered during Cena's match at the Rumble last night. And I'm not kidding, just seconds after I mentioned the chances of the Wyatts interfering? They did. If you see my reviews, I watched wrestling for a lot of years. I've been a wrestling fan since I was born, and I watched it for so long. I can kind of sense when things are coming, and I sensed that the Wyatts were going to get involved, especially when Cena was under control. And like I said, just seconds after I mentioned the Wyatt family may be getting involved, they did get involved, and they beat up on Cena. Delivering their moves. And then Ryan and Sheamus made the save. Now, I thought the match was going to be full now. I thought the match was going to be considered a no contest. I was like, oh my god, they're going to screw D-Bry out of making it a chamber match by having the Wyatts get involved? Fuck that. Instead, Cena, D-Bry, and Sheamus won by disqualification. That means, I was like, wait a minute. If they win by DQ, does that mean they're in the chamber match? They are. They are in the chamber match. Despite the weird ending with Wyatts getting involved, Cena and Sheamus, and more importantly, and yes, Daniel Bryan, makes it to the Elimination Chamber match. Unless they decide to have a rematch next week. And I saw a sign tonight that was ominous. I think I saw a sign tonight that said Wyatt versus Shield. Well, that could happen, especially with the Wyatts unintentionally screwing the Shield because they interfered on part of the Shield, so the Shield lost the match, like I said, by DQ. And the Shield were very upset by that result, by getting kind of screwed because of Wyatt's interference. So, like I said, the sign that said Wyatt and Shield could be ominous because I think that feud could start. I don't think Wyatt's may feud. I don't think Wyatt's are going to feud with Cena. They may kind of, but I think they're going to feud with Wyatt, feuding with the Shield, especially after unintentionally screwing him out of an opportunity to be in the Elimination Chamber match. But like I said, despite that, I think Roman Reigns will qualify. I think Roman Reigns should be in. I think he should qualify. At least, like I said, as a solo guy. For we'll see, there's 3 spots unless WWE tries to fuck the fans over again by saying, oh, we have a rematch. Like they did a D-Bry. Like what happened with D-Bry and Night of Champions. He won the championship with the fast count. Then the next night it was overturned. I would not be surprised if WWE decides to fuck the fans again and overturns it. But trying to win back the fans at that shitty response at the Royal Rumble, I think the decision will stand that D-Bry is in the chamber match. There's 2 spots left. I think Roman Reigns and Sandow will be the other 2 names. Maybe Brock Lesnar instead of Sandow to be in the match against Orton at the chamber match at the pay-per-view February 23rd, day before the launch of the WWE Network. That is it for my review tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review of Zach. Thank you very much. Yes. Have a great night. Yes.